Hello everybody, my name's Nicola and welcome back to my channel. This is the Frugal Cottage, where we talk all things money to help you on your financial journey. Today's video is all about my Eat for £10 a week challenge. I'm going to show you the meals that I made and just talk about how it went really. Don't forget to like and subscribe and let's get started. So a week ago I posted a video about how I was going to do a £10 a week eating challenge, i.e. I was going to limit myself to spending £10 on a week's worth of food for myself. And I'm now at the end of it. The last day was yesterday, so I thought I'd share with you the meals I've eaten during the week first of all, so you can see kind of how I made up my meals today from that fairly limited range of food, and also how I found things. And then at the end of the meals I'm going to talk about what I've got left, how much money I have left over, and kind of my favourite meal of the week and what I would do differently if I were to do this again. So this is what I've eaten this week. Okay, so this is day one breakfast. I've got a slice of toast with some jam on and a cup of tea. I'm already going to feel like I'm going to miss my coffee, but we'll see how that goes. So this is day one's breakfast. Okay, so this is what I'm having for lunch on day one. I've got a scrambled egg on toast. I have used some black pepper from the cupboard for that. I've also got a cup of tea and 2 chocolate digestives. I'm trying to have the biggest cups of tea possible because I know that my milk is not going to last for the entire week. But I'm looking forward to this. This doesn't look too bad. I don't have any butter on the toast, but apart from that, this would kind of be like what it would normally look like. So yeah, lunch day one. Okay, so this is what I've got for tea on day one. I've got 2 of the chicken drumsticks. I put salt and pepper on those. I then got some rice and some broccoli. I'm looking forward to this. It just feels like normally you'd have some kind of sauce maybe. But anyway, this is tea on day one and there's nothing for pudding. So once I've eaten this, that is me done for the day. So for lunch on day 2, I've got 1 of the tins of vegetable soup and a slice of bread. Breakfast this morning was the same as day 1, so I didn't bother filming that. Be interesting to see. I quite often get Morrison's vegetable soup, but like their normal brand. This is their Savers range. So interesting to see what difference this is. I've just put a bit of pepper in there because I like the addition of that. And then after this, I'm going to have a banana and a cup of tea. So this is lunch day 2. So for breakfast on day 3, I've got half of the tin of rice pudding. And I've put a bit of jam on the top and a cup of tea. These tea bags make the tea go such a strange colour. And also, does this not remind, if you're in the UK, does this not remind you of school dinners and having rice pudding with jam on the top afters? I have a feeling that this might be really, really sweet. But this is what I'm having for day 3 breakfast. So I'd been food shopping this morning for everybody else and I thought I'd show you what else I've picked up. So I had £1.22 remaining. So what I've got is I've got some crunchy peanut butter, that was 70p. I've got 5 mushrooms which cost me 29p. And the most exciting thing, you'll see my husband's already taken some of these, is I got 5 donuts for 5p. So I've now only got 18p remaining, but this I think should be a better, it's a bit more substantial than the jam on toast. I'm not the biggest fan of jam anyway, so I like peanut butter, so I'm hoping that'll be better. I'm gonna make some kind of omelette with the mushrooms and the eggs, and we'll see. That should hopefully be a tasty meal. And yeah, I'll update you later. Okay, so for lunch on day 3, I've got 2 slices of toast with peanut butter and a cup of tea. I'm also going to have 1 of those donuts because they do need eating, and that'll be quite nice, hopefully, as a treat. The one thing I'm noticing so far is that I'm getting nowhere near enough fruit and veg in a day. So later on tonight will be that curry with the chickpeas and the carrot and the peas, but it's still like not enough fruit and veg. I just didn't get enough money to be able to kind of stretch to lots of fresh fruit and veg. That's the kind of thing I'm missing at the moment. It's definitely something to consider when you do this kind of thing, that actually getting fresh fruit and veg, or just any, so like frozen or tinned or whatever, to make it stretch means that you generally don't have enough to go throughout the week. So for after lunch on day 3, I'm having this donut. This cost 1 penny because I got them reduced. So this is a nice welcome treat for day 3. Okay, so for tea on day 3, I've got my vegetable curry. So I've got chickpeas, peas, a little bit of broccoli and a carrot in here, and it's served with that basics curry sauce and then some rice. This is one of the meals I'm most looking forward to trying. I'm hoping it's not too sweet or too spicy. And then for afters, I'm going to have some of the tinned peaches, and that's me done for day 3. Breakfast on day 4 was the same as yesterday, so it was the leftover rice pudding with some jam in, and lunch on day 4 is 2 slices of peanut butter and then half of the tin of tinned peaches. I'm also going to have a cup of tea, but I've not got that on here. But that's lunch for day 4. Breakfast on day 5 is a slice of peanut butter and a cup of tea. This is something I would have fairly regularly anyway, so this is not any different other than it's different peanut butter and different bread. But apart from that, it's okay. I am looking forward to having different things. The monotony of having the same things over and over is one of the challenges I've found so far. But yes, this is breakfast on day 5. Okay, for lunch on day 5, I've got mushroom omelette. So there are 3 eggs and then 3 mushrooms in this, and that's it. I've just put salt and pepper over the top to make it slightly more flavourful. What this is missing is cheese and tomato ketchup, but I don't have either of those things, so this is lunch on day 5. I'm going to follow this with a cup of tea and a couple of the chocolate digestives, and that's it. Okay, so for tea today I've cooked some chicken drumsticks in the tin of tomatoes, and I've put in 2 chopped mushrooms and kind of just simmered that for quite a while, and that's served with some rice. So the only seasoning in this is salt and pepper. In an ideal world, I would have put something like Italian seasoning, but I haven't. So yes, I've got 3 chicken drumsticks there. Not that you can tell, presentation skills are not my strong point. And then the sauce is just the chopped tomatoes, salt and pepper, and the mushrooms in there. So hopefully this is going to be a good tea for day 5. Okay, so on day 6 for breakfast, I've got the same thing again. So I've got some peanut butter on toast and then a cup of tea. Thankfully I like peanut butter on toast, otherwise I think that this would be getting a bit monotonous by now. The tea is the same as always. I drink lots of tea. I am kind of slowly running out of milk. I think that the milk might run out today, but we'll see. If I can make it stretch to 1 cup in the morning, that would be good. But this is breakfast on day 6. So for lunch on day 6, I've got a jacket potato with a small tin of beans. Obviously this would be a lot better with some butter on the jacket potato and some cheese on the top, but as a cheap and filling lunch, it kind of ticks all the boxes there. So yeah, so this is lunch on day 6. Okay, so for tea on day 6, I've got the same as yesterday because I made 2 portions. So it's chicken drumsticks, they've been simmered in some chopped tomatoes and got some mushrooms in. So just 60 grams of rice. Again, presentation is clearly not my strong point, but this was really tasty yesterday and it's exactly the same. It's just been heated up quickly in a pan. I'm going to have 2 chocolate digestives and the final banana for afters, and then that's day 6 done. 1 more day left to go. So for breakfast on day 7, the last day, I've got the same as always. I've got a slice of toast with peanut butter and I've got a cup of tea. I've managed to make my milk last all week, which believe me has been one of the harder challenges, but I'm pleased that I've got enough for a cup of tea this morning. So this is breakfast on day 7. So after showing you all the meals that I've eaten for the week, I thought I'd share with you what I've got left. So actually I'm left with quite a bit more than I thought I would be. Obviously it's only me that's eaten for this £10 a week, but even so I feel like I've still got quite a bit left that will go into next week. So first of all, I bought a loaf of bread and I still have this much left, so there's still 5 slices of bread in there. So, you know, I've kept this in the fridge to make it last as long as a week. Normally in our household we go through like a loaf of bread every kind of couple of days because everybody has sandwiches and toast in the morning. But I did ration myself to begin with, so that's why there are 5 slices of bread left in the bread bag. The next thing was the strawberry jam. So I initially wanted to get lemon curd, but they didn't have any, so I got jam. I'm not the biggest fan of jam at the best of times. and especially on a slice of toast without any butter, it was just a bit boring. So I think it was it the third day or the second day, I went and got the peanut butter instead. So actually I've hardly used any of this jam, but this won't go to waste. We will eat this. It'll be fine on toast with butter on, I'm sure. But there's like literally, I think I've used it twice during the entire week, so there's nearly a full jar left of the jam. The next thing is the vegetable soup. So I had that kind of fairly towards the beginning of the week, but I'll be totally honest, I didn't particularly enjoy this. It tasted a bit like, you know, the kind of sauce you get with baked beans or tin spaghetti. It kind of tasted a bit like that. There was pasta and pearl barley in this, to be fair. So it was alright. I ate it with some bread. It wouldn't be something I'd rush to buy again. We've got one tin left. I'll probably take it to work at some point as a lunch, just so that it gets used up. The next thing, and I'm really pleased I went to buy this, is the peanut butter. I have used kind of the majority of the jar. There's maybe like a quarter left in there. So that was especially because it was only 70p, that was kind of one of the best things I bought during the week, I think, is this. And I didn't buy it to begin with purely because I thought I was going to run out of food, but once I had that money left over, I went back and that was one of the things I bought. So for 70p for a jar of peanut butter, and actually this has less sugar and less salt than the one I normally buy, which is interesting because I thought like the Savers one would have more of those things for some reason. But yeah, that's definitely a good buy that for us. Tea bags. Now you heard me talk about tea bags during the week. I drink a lot of tea and coffee, a lot of tea, probably too much really. I use loose tea normally, and I do buy a branded coffee. However, for the challenge I bought these Savers tea bags, and they're alright. I probably wouldn't ever buy these again unless absolutely necessary. I've kind of got, there's loads left, so there's like a full one, and then kind of that again. So I really didn't use many of those, and probably part of that was I wanted to make my milk last as long as possible, but also they just weren't the best. It wasn't something I'd rush to drink, which is unusual for me because I drink a lot of tea and coffee. But again, I'll probably take those to work just to have in. They're okay, they're just not the best tea bag in the world, and like I say, normally I use loose tea anyway, so yeah, so I've still got lots of those left. The next thing, so I have a tiny bit of broccoli left. I tried to kind of ration myself on that as well because I didn't want it to run out, and actually I kind of maybe was slightly too mean because I've now got that. That'll be used today in our Sunday dinner, so it's not going to go to waste, but that's the broccoli that's left. The eggs, so this was another good buy. This was £1.20 for 15 eggs, and I still have 6 left, so they'll be used this week in various different things, but they were quite a good bargain. But I got fed up of eating eggs really quickly. I'm not someone who eats them very often anyway, and yeah, so I made the scrambled eggs on toast, that was fine. I also made the mushroom omelette, but it was just lacking that bit extra. They're kind of bland by themselves, aren't they? So I've got 6 eggs left for those, so they'll kind of go towards things. Like I might make egg mayonnaise sandwiches this week, which I couldn't do during the week of the challenge because I hadn't got no mayonnaise, do you see? So it's just those little added extras that I definitely missed during this process. Rice. So this bag of rice is 45p. And you can see here I've got a substantial amount of rice left. I probably over half the bag maybe. So that's not going to go to waste. We'll use it as a family. This is 45p, so I definitely buy this again. It was worth it, although I did get fed up of eating rice almost every day, especially on the day when I bought rice pudding and then had rice like as the accompaniment to my main meal. In hindsight, I should have thought about that a bit better, but this rice was definitely a bargain. And like you can see, I've not used that all up nowhere near, so I definitely buy that again. Chocolate biscuits. Now, if you know me, this is an absolute miracle. I currently have 3 chocolate digested biscuits left from the packet, and considering I haven't had anything else to snack on during the week apart from these, that's amazing that they've lasted till the end of it. Well, after the challenge, because there's some left. I've had to hide them from my husband because he also likes chocolate digestives, but there are 3 left there, so I'm happy that there's 3 left, but I could have been slightly more generous during the week, especially when I was finding it tough. So they're the things that I have left. As you can see, I've got quite a few things left over. I am pleased with the outcome. The main thing I found tough was the lack of choice. So especially once I'd bought the peanut butter, I literally had toast and peanut butter every day for breakfast and sometimes for lunch as well. Now I like that anyway. I tend to have toast and peanut butter for breakfast, but I wouldn't have it every day. I kind of have it one day and then I maybe have porridge the next day or something different, you know. but the challenge meant that you repeat the same things, and so like I'd have the same meal on an evening one night and do enough for the second night, so it's twice. Because, and I thought about this a lot during the challenge, I factored in £10 for the food, but I didn't factor in the cost of, say, being able to cook my food, or like the amount of gas or electricity that I might use, or the fact that I've got things to cook stuff in. And I think the difference there is I'm obviously in a privileged position where I have a home where I can cook things in. I've got the right kind of pans to cook it in. I don't have to worry about how long something takes me to cook. And I recognise that is a privilege in terms of doing this. If you generally had £10 a week to eat, you probably can't stretch to lots of extra things as well. So when I was kind of going through, especially when I made the chicken drumsticks in like the tomatoes, I simmered that for a good kind of 40-45 minutes. You know, that's a lot of gas if you're watching the pennies, so I appreciate that some of the things I've done might not be possible if you are on a tight budget, and that is me recognising the fact that I'm in the privileged position to do so. In terms of my favourite meal, that was that chicken with the chopped tomatoes just simmered for ages. It was simmered on low with the lid on, just in like a normal saucepan with a lid, and there was no seasoning apart from salt and pepper. But the tomatoes, and because the chicken was cooked for that long, it kind of released all the juices, and with the mushrooms it was just really tasty, and it was something that I would make again. And in fact I'm going to make it again next week in the slow cooker, but add more things. I'm going to add some more vegetables and more seasoning, but the essential of that is the same. But 40 minutes cooking on a hob, you know, if you're watching how much you're spending, you might not be able to do that. My least favourite meal of the week was that vegetable curry, because the curry sauce, it just wasn't. I was so looking forward to the vegetable curry. It was the meal on the menu that I was most looking forward to, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the curry sauce. It just tasted a bit strange. Just didn't like it, and I did eat it. I didn't eat all of it because I just didn't enjoy the taste, but it felt weird to not eat it. But that was my least favourite meal, and yet it was the one I was most looking forward to. In fact, on the video clip you've seen, I say that this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. It really, really was a letdown. And we're a family who eat curries quite often. I often make them myself with like curry paste and coconut milk and stuff. Obviously that's a much more expensive way of doing that. The curry sauce was it 28p for that jar? I wouldn't buy that again, just because it didn't taste right, and I was disappointed by that meal, definitely disappointed. So my favourite meal was the chicken and tomatoes, my least favourite meal was the vegetable curry, and everything else was just a bit the same. So would I do it again? I think I'm going to try and do this again in a different supermarket and kind of look at how different prices kind of go across the supermarkets, maybe the main ones. I might even try a budget one if I can get there and see how that goes. I definitely would think carefully about the rice pudding, like the rice aspect. I got really bored of eating rice, but I did enjoy the challenge. It's interesting and it makes you think about just how kind of all the little extras that you have or you add into things really do make a difference when you are cooking. Just, you know, food is meant to be enjoyed, and I'm someone who really likes cooking and really enjoys food, and it was just a bit bland. And as much as I tried to make things interesting, there's only so much you can do with a limited resource. So that is my eat for £10 a week challenge. I am going to do it again, so watch out for that. It will be different, but we'll see how that goes. As always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again very soon.